All right, everyone, welcome to the next episode in the series AWS Primer series, and we have Jyoti here to continue. Jyoti, take it away.
Okay, guys. So hi all. So this is in continuation of our AWS networking sessions which we are doing. So today is our part 3, wherein we'll do lots of hands-on. Okay, so we've done enough theory. So let's do some hands-on. In last episode, we did a basic hands-on VPC wherein we created a VPC subnet internet gateway, okay, and a route table, and we saw how we can now go ahead and launch an instance in a VPC. Okay, so today I'm planning to cover three of the demos. First would be how a private instance can connect to a internet, which is using NAT gateway. So we'll have a demo on NAT gateway. Second, we'll go by VPC pairing. So we'll do a pairing of two VPC within a same region and across a region. So we plan to do these three labs. Okay, so let me share my screen and a little bit of a refresher. Okay, so whenever we talk about networking, right? Yeah, so there are these four things which one should know, right? So first is component of VPC. Like when you create a VPC, you need to know what is CIDR range. Okay, then subnet, and a difference between, okay, what exactly we mean by public, private, and elastic IP. Okay, so elastic IP is your static IP address. Okay, then route table. So okay, yeah, so route table. So if you guys remember, in all these three four sessions of networking, we've understood that when we talk about the physical network, we have switches, we have hub, we have bridge, etc., but router. But when we talk about cloud, okay, everything is a VPC. Okay, now your route table plays a very important role in case of VPC, because everything, like the path which you are going to tell, okay, if anything in a certain subnet can communicate with anything in another subnet of another VPC, everything you need to specify in your route table. Okay, and we understood that route table are also of three kind. One is your main route table, which gets created the moment you create a VPC. Okay, then you've got custom route table, and in those custom route table you've got the one which is associated with your private subnet, that is your private route table. The one which is associated with your public subnet, that is your public route table. And how do you distinguish between a public and private subnet, or how do you distinguish a route table, okay, public or private? So in case, if you in a route table, if you see a entry of internet gateway, that means it's public, and but if you don't see that entry, that means it's not public. And why do we need a internet gateway? As I told you earlier, if your VPC, they want to communicate with internet, it's through internet gateway. Okay, yeah, now comes firewall. Okay, so firewall also, we have got two kinds of firewall, which is security groups, which is at the instance level. Okay, wherein you say, okay, uh, you can listen to this service as at which port, or you tell about inbound and outbound routes. Okay, and then you have NACL, which is at the subnet level. Okay, so these are about the VPC component and firewall. Now third comes connectivity. Okay, so we have a VPC, now we want to connect it. One way to connect is using internet gateway. Okay, but if we'll expose everything on the internet, then your system won't be secure. For example, you've created an application. Now that application has your front end, your back end, which consists of database, right? So you don't want to expose your database to the internet, right? So comes the concept of private connectivity. So you have VPC pairing, VPN connections, endpoint, private link, etc. Okay, so today we'll focus on two things. One is your NAT gateway, and second is your VPC pairing. Okay, and finally we'll study about DNS management, which is Route 53 service in AWS. Okay, so we haven't covered theory of some of these sections, like VPC private link or Route 53. We'll cover it eventually. Okay, yeah. So let's move to our demo on NAT gateway. Okay, so first let's understand what exactly NAT gateway does. Okay, so see, this is your AWS region. Okay, in region we create a VPC. Okay, this is the Cidr notation which I was talking to you, and we had learned in our section 1 of this AWS networking what exactly we mean by Cidr. Okay, now in this VPC we went ahead and created two subnet. Okay, this is public subnet and this is private subnet. Okay, now in this subnet, public subnet, we have created, say, your web server, or for now some EC2 instances. And again, in private subnet, we have created a database server. Okay, so here for simplicity, what we'll do, we'll create two EC2 instances in these two subnets. Okay, now let us look at their route table. Okay, so what do you see in the route table? A difference. Okay, in case of the custom route table. Okay, what do we see? We see a entry for. So what exactly, how do we read this route table? Just explaining it again, because I see some attendees are new. Okay, so these are the two. There are many columns, but importance are these two: destination and target. So what we are saying that anything in this VPC, if their destination is, say, this 10.0.0. Okay, so any IP with these range, it can communicate directly. So local is, your traffic won't go, doesn't require any connectivity services. You can directly connect to any of the instances. Okay, but if your nodes or instance in this VPC, they want to connect to IP address, which is something like this. What exactly we mean by this? Say internet. Okay, though it's not internet, it means other IP ranges. Okay, there could be vast IP addresses. Okay, we don't know what are those. So for simplicity, okay, if you're saying 0.0.0, that means if we want to connect to IP addresses other than these. Okay, so how can our instance connect? It can connect through internet gateway. Okay, now where is the role of NAT gateway? We went ahead and we created this instance in our private subnet, which means this cannot directly communicate with the internet gateway or internet. Okay, but I still want to do patching of my database servers. I still want a latest version of a software. Okay, for that I need to connect to the internet. Now comes the picture of NAT gateway. So we always create NAT gateway in a public subnet. Okay, and to a NAT gateway we associate a elastic IP, which is your static IP address. Okay, now look at this route table. What do you say? This says that now if any instance in this private subnet wants to communicate to internet, okay, how it can do it? It can do it through NAT gateway. Okay, so the theory is clear, right? What we are going to do now, we'll create a VPC. In that VPC, we'll create two subnets. Okay, one would be your public, another one would be your private. Okay, in case of public, you'll see an entry of internet gateway. Okay, and then we'll try to see that whether my private subnet is able to ping your google.com. Okay, and we'll see it won't be able to connect to internet until and unless we go ahead and create this NAT gateway and add this reference of NAT gateway in the route table. Okay, so let's get started with the demo. Okay, and always remember there are these 4 steps which are common step when we are creating a VPC. Okay, so first is you go ahead and create your VPC. Okay, let's name it VPC NAT 01. Okay, we'll take this as our Cidr block only. Okay, so VPC creation is done. Now what will you do? We'll go ahead and create subnet. Okay, okay, let's take this only. So if you want to understand this is for new attendees. If you want to understand what exactly I'm doing here, you can refer to 2 sessions before this. Okay, so part 10 and 11 of this series, you will be able to follow what exactly we are doing here. Okay, so for now, let me just see this. Okay, so this is public. Let's go ahead and create another subnet, which would be my private subnet. Oh, what name I had given? Just a second. SN01 public. Okay. SN01 private. Okay. Let it be in a different. Okay. What happens here? The address overlaps with existing subnet CIDR. Okay. Okay, never mind. I'll just have this as well. Okay, so we've created 2 of us are subnet. Okay, next what we'll do, we'll go ahead and create an internet gateway. Okay, create an internet gateway. Okay, now let's attach this internet gateway with VPC. Remember, when we did our session, we studied that internet gateway is attached to VPC. Okay, so let's attach it to VPC. Now we'll go ahead and create 2 route tables. We can use main also, but for this demo, let's create our own route table. So the one which we create by ourselves, we call it as custom route table. Okay, so RT01, let's make it public. Select the VPC. Create route table. Okay, let's go ahead and create one more route table first, and then we'll do the association. RT01. The previous one was, what did I do? Okay, private. Okay, so you have public and then private. So I created VPC, then I went ahead and created 2 subnets. Okay, then internet gateway, I've associated internet gateway with VPC, and then I've created a route table. Right now, these 2 route tables are identical. Like, and now how would we distinguish between which is public and which is private? What I'll do with the public one, I'll go ahead and associate a internet gateway. Okay. So first, let me associate this route table with my public subnet. Okay, edit the rules. If you guys want, you can practice along me, because all these setups, you'll see it takes some time. So meanwhile, my system becomes up, you can also parallelly do it. Now, let's take our second route table. Associate this with my private subnet. Okay, so in case of private route table, this route table, I haven't associated internet gateway. That means any instance which is created in the private subnet, they won't be able to talk to the internet. Okay, so let's go ahead and create two instances. One I'll create it in a public subnet, and another one I'll create it into a private subnet. Okay. By the way, Amazon, they introduced this feature, which is EC2 Global View. Now, you earlier, if you remember, if I had to check any EC2 instance in a different region, I had to go ahead and select the regions. Okay. Now, using this, you can see entire view of your instances, volume, etc., which you have created in different region. Okay. Yeah. So let's go ahead and launch an instance. I'll oh, I had deleted the instances. Okay, never mind. VPC NAT. Okay, so this is public. So if this is public, that means I need to assign the enable this auto assign public IP address. Okay, add storage, nothing to be added. Security group. Okay, let's add a security group here. Okay, so I'm doing it anywhere. Okay, let's name it NAT public SG. Or let me choose existing one. I already have one with me. So let me just write it as C2 public. Oops. Okay. Yeah. So meanwhile, this is starting up. We'll go ahead and launch another instance. This time, what we'll do, we'll associate this instance with the private subnet. Okay. You won't find this error. Okay, not error, it's a warning. Actually, what I did, the default subnet which gets created in a region, I went ahead and deleted it. I was checking something. Private. I am not enabling the public IP address. Okay, because add storage, attack. Yeah, RDP will allow. Okay, so let me do. See, when I am setting this security group, I am not adding a lot of security here. Usually in real world, even you can specify the source IP as well. For me, I'm doing, you can connect it from anywhere, right? But if you want to add an extra layer of security, so what you can do is, if we take this example, so you can say that the instance in the private subnet can be accessed only via public subnet. Okay, so you can provide the IP range of the public subnet. Right now I'm selecting anywhere. Okay. Okay, let's just rename it as. Okay, so meanwhile this is showing up, what we'll do is I'll go ahead and create a NAT gateway, but I won't associate it. Okay, you guys also, if you want, you can set up till here. Okay, if your system is ready, you can practice along with me, because this would take some minute to set up. Okay, so let me just tell you what I have done till now. I have created this much. I've created a VPC, and in this VPC, I went ahead and created 2 subnets. Okay, and then I created 2 route table and internet gateway, and I did the association. So I have done this route table part and half of this. Okay, now this part is left, which is the NAT gateway, and I have launched 2 instances also. Okay, so the NAT gateway part is remaining. So what I'll do is, just in the interest of time, I'll parallelly go ahead and create a NAT gateway until our EC2 instances are coming up. Yeah, so select VPC, then on the left side, you'll see a NAT gateway, right? We'll go ahead and create NAT gateway. So, okay, and we'll associate it with the public subnet, right? Because if we'll associate it with the private subnet, that again, we won't be able to communicate with the internet, right? And we need to select elastic IP. Okay, so you'll be charged for elastic IP. It's the NAT gateway, it is not part of a free tier. Okay, so you'll be charged, but charge would be very minimal. Exact amount I don't know, but it is going to be very small. So the moment we'll be done with this demo, I will go ahead and delete the NAT gateway and release the elastic IP. Okay, so all these things are done. I've created an NAT gateway. Okay, now let's see what is the status of my instances. Okay, they're still taking time to come up. Okay, okay, right. So let's connect to this. First, let me rename it. EC2 public. Okay, now let's go ahead and connect RDP. Okay, let me take the password. See, you see a change here, right? Now you get to know, like with this instance, which key pair was associated. Okay. I've got the password. Okay. So let's quickly see. You don't need to do the step which I'm doing to connect to the remote desktop. Okay. So there's one way is like you download this, okay, client, and then you can connect. Second, you can connect using this option as well, which is like remote desktop, add this public IP address, then add the username as administrator and the password which was generated. But I'm using the shortcut, okay, just to save some time. Okay. By the way, is anyone practicing parallelly? Okay. Yeah. So this is my public instance. Okay. Now, if I'll go ahead and ping the DNS of Google, I'll see a response. Okay. Ping a.a. You can write simply google.com as well if you want. See, so this was my public instance which I had created in my public subnet, and this is able to communicate with the internet. Why? Because we had added in our route table entry for internet gateway, which help us to communicate with the internet. Okay. Now let's connect to the instance which we had created in private subnet. Okay. So how can you connect? You know, right? Under VPC, inside VPC, you can connect from one machine to another machine. Why? Remember that top row of our route table wherein we had written that if destination is the CIDR range, okay, the range which we have selected for VPC, then your target is local. That means, in short, that line means that you can, from one instance, you can connect to another instance in a VPC or in a subnet, okay, of a same region. Okay, so let me go ahead and take a remote connection of that machine. Okay. Okay, so let me find out the private. Okay, connect. This is the IP which I need to use. Okay, this is the administrator. Get password. Browse. This portion you guys are getting, right? Right now, what I'm doing, I'm connecting to my private instance, okay, using RDP, okay, via my public instance, okay. Okay, let's see if we are able to ping to the internet from this private instance. See, we're getting request timeout. Why? Let's see. Because we have done just setup till here. Okay. NAT gateway is missing. Now we need to associate NAT gateway in the route table of private subnet. So after this association, now my instance in the private subnet, they'll be able to communicate with the internet. Okay. So I had created NAT gateway. I just need to add it into the route table. See, in whose route table you will add the reference of NAT gateway? It would be your private subnet's route table. Okay. And where is NAT gateway created? It is created in public subnet. Okay. Just remember, anything in the public subnet, they can communicate with the internet, right? So let's go ahead to my VPC, take the NAT gateway's ID. Where did it go? Okay. This is the IP of the NAT gateway. Now I'll go to route table. Now, why we need to do entry in the private route table of private subnet? Because with public, we've already associated a internet gateway. Okay. So we are going here, edit route table. Now, remember this step. Till now, we have been associating this kind of a destination with internet gateway. Now we'll associate it with NAT gateway. Okay. Save changes. Right. Now let's see. Let's think. Yeah, see, you started getting reply. Now this instance can connect to internet, and if you want to update anything from the internet, you can do it. Okay. So let me know if you were able to do this till here, because after this I'll go ahead and delete everything which I've created, and I want to show you guys those steps as well, because for elastic IP and NAT gateway you'll be charged. So I want you to tell you these steps to how you can delete them. For now, I'm just disconnecting from this system. Bridget, should I wait for you? Okay. Okay. So let me just go ahead and now release my elastic IP, etc. Okay. So NAT gateway. We'll go ahead and delete the NAT gateway. Parmesh, Sudhir, any question? If yes, you can write it in chat. Okay. Okay, thank you guys. Okay, it is taking some time to delete. Okay, meanwhile it's getting deleted. Let's see what we are going to do in our next demo, okay, which is VPC pairing. Okay, though in interest of time, I won't create two subnets. Okay, we'll just have one subnet in one VPC and another subnet in another VPC. But in real world, how things are done, that I'll show you. Okay, so what we are going to do, we are going to suppose in you have an application, right? But that application has a setup department wise. Like for a finance team, there is a different setup, and for say HR team, there is a different setup. Now if you want to form a connection between those two application, okay, or maybe the database which we are using, okay, for both the application, it's there in VPC B. Okay, so if you want to connect, how can you do that? Using VPC pairing. Okay, there's one more use case of VPC pairing is say your application is one, okay, but you have say 10 customers, okay, even they are on AWS. Okay, now if the customers if you want to communicate from customers VPC to your applications VPC, okay, so you can form a SPOC kind of a structure wherein you'll have your VPC at the middle, okay, and then the customer's VPC, okay, they'll be connected only to your VPC, okay, something like a star shape or a Spock shape, wherein at the center is our VPC, our applications, our application, and at the node you have the VPCs of your customer, okay. And then there are certain limitations of your VPC pairing. For example, if you see the Cidr range for the two VPC which we are connecting, they should not be overlapping. Okay, so you see it's 10.100.0.0 here and 10.200.0.0 here. Then second is you can just have one VPC pairing. You cannot have two VPC pairing. Okay, and then your VPC pairing is not transitive. Remember, I told you, like, if A, B, C, you've got three VPCs, okay, virtual private cloud. So if A is connected to B and B is connected to C, that doesn't mean A and C are connected, okay. So even that you have to take care of. So what we'll do, we'll create VPC, and this we are going to do in same region. I'll pick Virginia. I'll set up VPC. I'll have two VPC, one having a side of block, something like this, and another one like this, okay. And then we'll do a connection between these two VPCs, okay. Anyway, let me see if this is back. Is it deleted? Yeah, it's deleted. So next step after deleting the NAT gateway, what you need to do is you need to release the elastic IP. So I'll go ahead and delete everything which I had created. Detach VPC. Oh, they're mapped. Okay. Just delete. Please, it should let me delete. Okay, so let's do step by step. Let's go ahead and first terminate my EC2 instance only. Okay. Let's see how much of our second demo we are able to do, but at least I'll tell you the steps so that if you're not able to finish, you guys can take that as an assignment. Okay, I think we've deleted a lot of things. Okay, so let's just final one. Let me just delete this VPC. Rest I'll delete it later. Okay, so we are moving to our second demo, which is VPC pairing. So right now what I'll do, it's simple setup of creating two VPCs, creating two subnets to internet gateway, adding those internet gateway to a route table. Okay, and then I'll launch two instances in each of these VPC. So this is simple, which I'm doing. Okay, pairing part would be the next step. Okay. Yeah, so let's go ahead and create, and I'm in North Virginia. Okay, so VPC 01 for simplicity. Let's take some other IP address. Okay, this is the common one which I always take. So one will keep it like this only. Create VPC. let's go ahead and create another VPC. VPC 02. This time, let's take 172. Somebody was asking me in one of the session, like, how do I pick the CIDR ranges? So there are a lot of examples which are given in the AWS itself. So they have taken this CIDR range as a reference. So I go ahead and I take the same ones. Okay, but you can also pick any CIDR range. Okay, remember there was this table wherein I showed you that the private ranges which you have, right? So you can create any of the CIDR ranges using those example. Okay, but for simplicity, I pick what is given in their demo. Yes, I've created two VPCs. Okay, both have been created in same region. Okay, I'll go ahead and create subnet. So we'll name this as subnet 01. Okay, and yeah, let's take this only as its CIDR range. We'll go ahead and create another subnet. This time we'll associate with my second VPC. This is subnet 02. Not taking any availability zone as a preference because focus is on the pairing part. Okay. So what would happen if I take both CIDR range same for both VPC? Okay, we won't be able to pair those two VPC. There shouldn't be any overlapping. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay, let's go ahead and create two internet gateway. Why we need to create two internet gateway? Because with one VPC you can attach only one internet gateway. So this is IG01. We'll associate it later. Okay, let's create another one. IG02. Okay, so 02 I'll attach it with VPC 02. Okay, and the 01 I'll attach it with VPC 01. See, you see a default VPC and 01. Why you're not seeing 02? Because it's already associated with another internet gateway. Okay, now let's go ahead and create our route table. So RT01, this is associated with my 01. So these are common steps, right? By now you would have learned these are like 3-4 steps which are very common. So I'll associate, since this is my 01, so I'll associate with so 01. Okay, and internet gateway 01, save changes. Okay, one is done. Where is my, oh, did I create my second route table? No, right? Let me create another route table. RT02. Let's associate it with subnet association. Let's subnet 02. This is the line which I was telling you, right? Like from you can connect one instance to from one instance to another instance of your VPC in a same region without any extra services because of this entry. Okay. NAT gateway. Okay, guys. Okay, now my both the VPCs are ready. Okay, now I'll go ahead and create instances in each of these VPCs. Okay. Yeah. So let me show to you from diagram what I've done. I've done this setup. Okay, though in diagram I've shown you two subnets, but I've just created one. Okay, so I've created one subnet here and one subnet here. Okay. Okay. Remember one thing, we are going to ping from the instance in VPC A, okay, to instance in VPC B. So now when we'll be at the security group level, we have to enable the ping protocol, which is like ICMP is the one which helps you to do a ping. Okay. So we'll apart from RDP, we'll be having one more entry in our security group. Okay, it's still terminated. Okay, it's terminated. So let's go ahead and launch instance. Windows Server. Okay, 01. Okay, enable. Both of them can connect to internet. Okay, storage tags, connect to security group. So RDP is the one. Second, I want both these instances to be able to ping. First, let me ping this as ST01 PE. Add role. So this is the protocol you need to pick this IPv4 because we are using IPv4 address only. Anywhere and review and launch. Let's pick the existing ones only, which is VPC NAT. Okay, instance. Okay, let's name this as PE01. Save. Okay. Now we'll create another instance in our second VPC. Okay. See, I'm doing anywhere, right? But if you want, you can do similar to what is given here, right? You can specify that I'm allowing ping if the source IP is this 10.100.1.0. Okay, similarly for this. Right now, for demo, I am allowing it for all kind of IP addresses. Okay. Existing. Zero two. Okay. So meanwhile, this is coming up. Let's go ahead and create a VPC pairing. Okay. But I won't associate again. Okay. I'll associate it after showing you what happens if we don't have a VPC pairing between two VPCs. Are we able to ping the instances on these VPCs or not? Okay. So let's again move to your VPC pairing section. Okay. Create a peering connection. Peering 1. So here you have got requester and acceptor. Okay, so since we are in same region, okay, so I can pick any of the VPCs. Okay, so from where we are going to send a request. Okay, so we'll ping from VPC 01. Okay, this is the associated CIDR. This is like it's in my account only and same region, and acceptor is my 02. Okay, but when we had to do across region, now you can understand, right? You'll select my account, but another region and VPC ID of that region, you'll get it. I see something on chat. Yes, Brijesh, it can be from the different regions as well. So I had divided it into two sections. First within the region, and then second demo is across the region. Okay. Yes, Parmesh, it would work bi-directional. Okay. Because I am going to do the entry in the route table of both the VPCs. Okay. Yeah, so let's see, where are we on this? Okay, it's coming up. We've got the okay. Our work is still not done where VPC is concerned. VPC pairing is concerned. See what is the status pending acceptance by this. This is the account ID of this particular account, which is same, right? So what I need to do is I need to go ahead and accept this. Okay, so I'll select and I'll say I'm accepting your request. Okay, let's see where we are on EC2 instance. Okay, see it's there. Now I'll connect to both these RDPs. Get password, browse. Okay. What's wrong? See, I had planned for 3 demos, but I could finish only 2. In fact, second is also not done. These setups, they take time. Okay, so let's see. That's a good point, Brajesh. Not sure. Is it working quickly for you? Could be network speed. I think could be one reason, because everything is via internet. Oh, okay. Okay, so let's first ping the internet. Okay, this is perfectly fine. Now let me see if I can ping the instance which I had created in 02 VPC. Okay. And which IP address I'll take to ping, it would be private. Why? Because we are using we are checking private connectivity, right? So 02, this is the private IP address. See, request timed out. Okay. Now what I need to do, see why we are not able to ping, because we have just done these two things independently. We have done this setup, we have done the setup, and VPC pairing is also created. I mean, the service is created, but association is not done. And remember, I told you in all the association, we have to store it in a route table. So what I'll do, I'll go ahead and add the entry of my VPC ID into both the route tables. Okay. So let me just copy this ID. Where's my route table? Yeah, here it is. Okay, so now you'll see another edit route table. Oh, just a second, I keep forgetting. Let me just add this here. Okay, and this is 01. What was the IP range for 01? Okay, it was 10.0. Okay, so here. Add. So I'll pick 172.16.0.0. Okay, and then now same thing I need to do it. Parmesh, see, you were asking, will it be bi-directional, right? So it would be, because I am putting the entry in both the route tables. Okay. Let's see if it works. See, now we are able to connect. Earlier, when I did ping on this private IP address of VPC2, I was not able to connect, right? But now, after doing VPC pairing, I was able to do the connection. Okay. And let's check other way around as well. Okay. Though I think, Parmesh, we'll be able to connect, but to be on safer side, let's see. Okay. Even I'm also a little curious. Okay, so we have done it from 01. Okay, let's see if we are able to do it from 02 or not. Meanwhile, this is coming up. Let me find out the IP address. See, Parmesh, it's bidirectional. We are able to connect from both the systems. Okay. So that's it. Like we are already over time. So we plan to do 3 of the demos. We were able to do it 2. So I think we can take third one as a assignment, which is VPC pairing across region. Okay. So everything would be same. Okay. It's just that you are going to create your both the VPCs in different regions. Okay. And the part wherein I went ahead and accepted the connection. Okay. Since it was in the same region, so I didn't have to go anywhere. Okay. At the same VPC console, I was able to accept. For you, what you have to do, you have to go to that another region, okay, for which you are requesting an access, and from there, under peering connection, what you'll do, you'll see this option of pairing connection, and you'll see a request there. Okay, so what you need to do, you need to go ahead and just accept the request. So that's the only difference you'll have in the third assignment. So let's practice it as a assignment and see if there is any doubt. I can take that up in our next session. Okay. So I'll stop sharing. Any question, anyone? Okay. So I take that as no then.
No questions. Good that that is an assignment. I also think it's got a lot to do with the local network. I don't know why. I'm getting a feeling. So hopefully by tomorrow my network will improve, and I will try again. Probably then I'll see if I have better results with that. So probably we diagnose it that way. But ideally, it should not depend on the local network, right? Because that's what a VPC is. Right?
But still, we are connecting from our system to that VPC.
Yeah.
Let's see.
So the initial, So, but when it is doing all those,
I have to check.
Yeah, that's a bit of a concern for me, but we can verify if the network speed is better. Well, thank you so much, Jyoti, for this session. We look forward to the session next week. Yeah, and this recording will be up sometime tomorrow. Okay, and everybody will, those who have subscribed will automatically get to know. So subscribe to the channel. That's one sincere advice. Yeah. All right.
Okay, guys.
Thank you so much, Jyoti. Thank you to the participants, Sudhir and Parmesh. Parmeshwar and Sudhir, thank you so much. And have a enjoy the rest of the weekend. Have fun. Take care.
Okay, bye.
Cheers. Bye.